All right, here we are already at the end of the semester. And let's see. I really don't have much on my agenda today. This is your time for whatever you need clarification on. Two things that I think might come up. One is questions on the project. Two, questions on the final exam. The final exam was made available this morning, November 30th. And you should be able to get at it and take it at your convenience. It is due by December 7th, so you have a week to do that. So it's completely online, it's multiple choice, it should be no surprises. It's all about what we talked about in class. You don't have to write any SQL code or whatever, that kind of stuff. So what questions do you have?
My question is geared towards the project.
Project, good, let's do it.
So a week ago we were talking about you want us to finish the ERD,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there start to work on the action tables.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so filling in the tables.
Right.
My first question is, I want to make sure I got this correct. I have a question about, we did a linkage from supplies to items. Did you still have this from last meeting?
I don't, it's on one of the recordings, I don't have it saved. But,
On here, we did a relationship from here to here, and we did a zero to many from here to here. So are we saying that for a supply is something such as, what's the difference between a supply and an item? I guess my question is.
I think what we said here with items were that when we sell something, we may, let's say we sell a service, an oil change or something on a boat. You're also going to sell them an oil filter and oil and whatever other supplies. So for that one sales event, there are many items that are part of that. Same way with services. So you're selling a service that may include many items. So you have all your services that you could potentially offer in that table. Oil changes.
This is like the oil, stuff like that. This is like the oil change service.
Right.
Okay. And then this would be like the oil, this would be the oil, and the oil have an item number by it. Such as?
Yes.
Okay. So if we had like an oil change service, that would be on the item would that be an item as well? Should we have like a service item number for servicing the oil change?
What you have, let's see if I can, maybe you're old enough to remember this. When I was a kid, my dad used to go to the hardware store. It was actually a lumber yard. And they would fill out this piece of paper, and it would have all the carbon copies underneath it. And on the top of it, it would have, his name and his phone number and, information, the date, 11/29, whatever, 1968, whatever he was doing. That's all up in there once. This was part, if you're breaking this down into a table, this might be part of the sales table or so on. That is once. This was also called an invoice. And then in here, you would have all these items where you would have item number 1, item number 2, item number 3, and it might be screws. It might be a box of screws, and then it would have a quantity over here, quantity, 1 box of screws, and it might be, $2, right? And then you might have plywood, right? And he bought 2 sheets of plywood, and that's $8 each. And then it would have an extension over here, so that would be like $16. This would be $2. then it would add up. Down here, you'd have a subtotal, tax, and total, right? So the point is that in this one sales event, Dad bought screws and plywood and nails and whatever else was in there. These are your items.
So that whole thing that you just created, would that more so be a sales table, or would that be like a form there that you're looking at here?
This part here would go in your sales table up here. So this is your sales event, or your transaction. That sales event is linked to an items table where all these items were sold during that one event. So there's a one-to-many relationship between sales
Right.
and items.
Right, I get that part. Just to supply the item, so basically supply, saying that, okay, so you can have 0 supply and many items. Same thing with services, you can have 0 services and many services. 0 to many, because service is different than supply. And
Yes.
Okay. For suppliers to supplies, from suppliers to supplies, I put 0 to many, because you don't have to have a supplier, or you can have, basically, you don't have to have any supplier for supply, you can have many suppliers for supply.
Doesn't this, if you have supplies, you had to get it from somewhere.
Right, so I was thinking that way over here, from supplies to suppliers, this basically says that for supplies, you have either no suppliers or many suppliers. So that should be a one-to-many, right?
No. You can assume that for each supply, you get it from one person. So this would be a one-to-many. Each supplier supplies with many things. So I can have one supplier can supply me with oil filters, and that same supplier can supply me with oil and whatever else, gaskets and things.
Supplier, so that's the case, then suppliers could go one-to-many as well, right? Because you can get suppliers from one supplier or many suppliers.
Yeah, but just to simplify, we'll just say that we get each supply you get from one.
One-to-one, okay.
So everybody's a sole source, if you want to do
That's what
that.
you're saying. Okay, I'll let you finish with that. Thank you. Got another one.
All right, so this clear up how, I wish I had saved that little diagram that we had on here, but it is in the recording when we did, I think, we did that last week?
I have it from the week. I have it here.
Okay.
Just, the next question would be, when we're designing this database,
Hmm.
when we're doing we're telling it 4 keys. We'll make it 4 keys, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only way that I remember that we were taught how to do a foreign key was originally we just wrote the word foreign key for the notes, which we seen a note foreign key, and then we were shown how to do it in SQL, where you would put the FK and you put the name of it and then you put foreign key better. Is there a way to create the foreign key in the database view, in a view as opposed to just doing it in SQL? Like, you know, when you got your,
You don't have to do it in SQL for this. You can just do it the way, when you set up those relationships, by dragging and dropping in that relationship screen, you're actually defining something as a foreign key. Let me show you.
that's what you said, so you're dragging the primary to the other one over there.
All right, this look familiar? All right, so we have a, let's take a part of that diagram that you have there. You have an employee or a customer, right? You had a customer,
Yes.
and you have all the information about the customer. There's some way of identifying them, maybe the phone, customer
I'll
ID.
do a random number on that one.
Okay, that's fine, as long as you have a way of uniquely identifying each customer. And you have a sales table, right? And then what we had over here, you have an employee who does the selling,
Yes.
okay? All right, so I have my employee ID over here. I have my customer ID over here. These are primary keys, right? This is a way of uniquely identifying these folks.
Yes.
In here, I have my sales ID or whatever for each transaction.
Right.
But I'm going to have an employee ID over here. That's not going to be a primary key because my employee is hopefully going to sell more than one thing, make more than one sale, right?
Same thing with customer, hopefully you have more than one customer.
Right, so the same with my customer ID, remember in the screen, you drag and drop
Yes.
from here to here? This is what you're doing. By doing this, these have already been created as primary keys in their respective tables. Once you make the connection to these fields here, once these fields made that connection, they become foreign keys. You don't actually define them as a foreign key. By making this relationship, they are now locked in as foreign keys.
So that would be my next question, because I think this runs back to halfway through the semester. When we go to sales, let's say I got my customer table and my employee table already created. Can I go to my sales table and I start putting in sales ID, employee ID, and customer ID, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the customer and employee tables, them numbers are automatically going to be what randomly picked, which I can't remember the name of it when you randomly pick them. But one blank here, but when the system randomly picks the number for you.
Yeah, the auto number.
Auto number. So I'm going to set them up as auto number.
That's fine.
When I go to my sales table, I'm going to create another table called row called customer, column called customer ID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to set that one up to automatically do
No. No, because that would be unique. You do not want that. If you're going to make the customer ID over here auto number,
Yes.
Auto number, then you need to make this, and I think it's just numeric. Or number field, and then I think if you make it an integer, I'd have to look at it, how the latest version of Access handles that. But you're going to make it a whole number here to match up with the auto number over there. If that's the way you want to do it, that's what you're going to be up against, is you're going to be making this one a number, and this same with the employee. Once you figure it out.
Because if I didn't do it that way, and I just gave customer ID and employee ID numbers myself,
Mm-hmm.
but at that point in time, I'll still make it an integer, right? It'd just be a short integer at that point in time, right?
Yeah, or, if you wanted to, you could use the customer's phone number as their customer ID.
Well, I guess that my question would be, how would that be different? Then I would just use phone number down here and link
Yeah.
it there as well, right?
So a customer example of a customer ID might be 401-683-1881, right?
Mhm.
That's uniquely finds a customer. So then over here, when that customer comes in to buy something, you're going to see 401-683-1881. It's going to be in there, and that might be in there several times.
Right, so when I'm defining that field in sales, my issue that I'm having is I'm okay defining the field originally in its own separate table, but when I put it in another table, I'm not sure how to define it and how to put the data in. So when I do the relationship, it matches. So when I do my query, it understands that these two match. So when I'm putting that phone number there, if I do that there, I put phone number for my primary there, I put phone number in my sales table, which it would become a foreign. When I'm basically putting it and doing it, I would put it as that would be not a numeric, that would be, I don't know the name of it, character or something.
Yeah, whatever that'd be text.
Yeah, text. So when I put text in there, and I go to sales, I would put the phone number in myself, right? I would put all that information in myself,
Yeah.
but I would put a text in it. I guess that's I'm just kidding. I don't even know how to do that.
Let me see if I can give you an example. Yeah, this one here, this tutorial database that we used in week 10. Open. All right, let's say I'm going to just mess with this here, so I might be messing it up. So, all right, I'm going to make this, let's go by object type. So let's say, let's do this. Let's say for the courses, right, so I have my courses table. I have all these courses in here. Let's say I wanted to create a professor's table. Professors teach courses, right? So there's going to be a relationship there. So I want to create table design. All right. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say Professor ID. Okay? I'll figure out, I'll make it short text. I'll make it, I don't know, 5. Yeah, I know that there's no way to make these things bigger. All right, so then I'm just going to abbreviate. Name. Oh, I can't use name, huh? Wow, how about that? Last name. Okay, oh, shoot. Last name, first name, and let's say department, Department. Okay, so that's all that stuff. When I swooped over here, save table, yeah, save it. Professor. So my professor table, oh, stop it. All right, I want to select Professor ID as my primary key. Now I should be able to save this thing. Thank you. All right, so now I have it. So my Professor ID, I don't know, let's think of something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put in Dr. Friedman, School of Information. Then I put in another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. All right, now I have 2 professors in there. I want to create a relationship to courses, so I have to add a field. Now, I'm going to add the field Professor ID so that it makes a connection. Is that fairly obvious?
Yes.
Okay. So what I would do is I would come in here and I would select this row and I would copy it. Copy it. And then I would go over to my courses table, go to my design view, and I would paste it in here. Now the only other thing I have to do, because that will guarantee me that I have the same data type and the same size where that's necessary. The only thing I have to do when I get here is change the index from no duplicates to duplicates OK. Because I'm going to have a professor that can teach more than one course, right? So now, what I have, that's the easiest way to set up that field in the other table. This is going to be a foreign key. That's the easiest way. Because then I guarantee if I had an input mask, if I had whatever other validation rules or whatever was going on with this table, this field, I would guarantee that it's exactly the same as the one in the other table.
That's if you don't do auto number, right?
That's if you don't do auto number.
If I did auto number, then you still have to set it to integer instead.
I think so. I think it would be numeric, and I think you'd have to set it to integer. I'm not sure if short integer makes a difference or long integer makes a difference, but you would have to set it to integer. Shouldn't make a difference, because a long integer number 4 is the same as a short integer number 4. So now when I go back to my, all right, I save both tables. Let's see. Let's close that table. Yes, let's save that. Don't worry about it. Just friggin'. And I want to do this one here. I save that one. Now I would go to my relationship screen. Then I want to show my new table, my professor table. Add that. Oops. I get rid of that. Too many copies of it. And that's going to be with my courses. See, I have Professor ID in both tables, right? Then this allows me to make this connection. Professor ID, it's a one-to-many, create.
So that was my question right here. So when, you saw I showed you one to many in my last class, I asked you, I said, what if we have one here, that it's a one-to-one on here, and then we go there and it shows a one to many? What did you do, how would you know that you did something wrong? How would you correct it at that point in time? Or would that matter?
It knows knows this is a one-to-many relationship because,
You drew it from the primary to the foreign, right?
close that. Edit relationship. It knows it's a one-to-many because I have a primary key on one end that does not allow duplicates. And then I have a not primary key on the other end, which does allow duplicates.
I see that. So even if I did an auto number, I have to do the secondary, whichever one that I'm going to be using as
As your foreign key,
I have to put that to duplicates, okay?
Mhm.
Whether it's auto number or not.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, now if you already have an auto number field in your table, it will not allow you to copy or to create another auto number field. You're only allowed one per table. There's no reason to have two auto number.
So I would need to know, I need to remember the auto number, like, if I'm using customer ID, and I'm using it, like when I got a customer table, and then I have a sales table, and I'll be using a customer ID number inside the sales table. I need to remember whatever the customer ID numbers are, so when I'm putting it in for the sales table, I
Mhm.
put the right numbers in, correct?
Yep. And there's ways to do that. If I close this, and then let's say I open up Professor and Courses, right? See my course here? I can hit the schedule right there, and
What is that you just opened up?
this here is the schedule table. See, I have that relationship to that transaction table.
Wait, I'm sorry, you lose me there. So, okay, that's the course table right there.
That's
All
courses
courses.
table. And these, I want to know what professors, what courses. All right, that opens up. This is the one, this is the many side, the schedule table. If I wanted to go,
So that shows you everything from what? Schedule IDs?
tells me every student ID that signed up for that course.
Because you got a relationship with what? What do you have a relationship that shows that?
Schedule and courses. If I do it this way,
So you got schedule ID inside of course ID?
watch. Look at all my courses. Let's pick one. Business 3100. Let's say I wanted to have Dr. Freeman Business 3100. Okay, that's what do you mean? What is that doing? I don't need the title, description, and credits. It should fill it in. Oh, I see I know what's happening. I would have to create a new course to make that work. So let's say Finance 9900. Then I could create a new Finance course, and then, right, so then I could save that because I'm having that person teach that course.
Well, and this is, you're able to do that because you have your professor ID linked to what, the course ID?
Mm-hmm.
So under course ID, you got the first ID number that's in there.
Mhm.
So because that, whenever you click on professor ID, it brings up all the tables from the course, all the columns from course.
Yep.
ID.
Yep. Now watch when I go back to my courses table. All right, so I saved that. When I go back to my courses table, I should have, let's close that, and then let's open it again. Now I have this finance course that's in there. See that?
I see it, and so why is that doing that again?
Because these two tables are related, professor and courses.
Okay, so because they're related, that allows you to,
I can create a new course and have some, I can go into professor and I can create a new course from here and assign my professor to it right away.
So any table that you have a relationship with, that you do the primary foreign key on, it's automatically gonna open that you're allowed to open all the fields up in that table from a different.
You can create, yep, you can create a new record from it. Now, you don't have to do that, but you can do that.
And if you're to minimize that, so normally I see so professor ID table only has professor ID, last name, first name, department. When you click on it, then whatever is related to, so if I related that professor ID, if I put professor ID in 2 different tables and I link each one of them, then I'll get a row full of each one of the 2 tables.
Yep, you can. See? So then when we go back to my courses, I just created a new course called Finance 9900.
If you click on that plus, then it's gonna take you to the professor table, right?
Yep. Oh no, this is to have a student sign up for it, because this is the one side, and it will give you the many side. So if I have a student ID, if I have student ID, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4,
If you're on
5.
the mini side, it's gonna give you the one side. If you're on the one side, it gives you the mini side. Does that make sense what you're saying?
If you're on the mini side, it doesn't give you anything unless, so let's say finance, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to take it, right? Looks like I have somebody, wow, look at this. This is a new feature. I haven't seen this. This is a great feature. All right, and then I go down here to the new one, and I want to sign up this one, and I want to sign up
So why is
that
that
one.
giving you the professor table if they're related?
No, this is the schedule table. See, schedule ID?
Right, no, I see what Tim was bringing up, but the professor and the courses are related, right? You have a relation between the professor table and the course table. That's why when you click on the professor, it opens up the course table, right?
Yep.
So why when you click on the course table, you open it up, why wouldn't it open up the professor table if they're related still?
Because the professor table, when I click this, each professor can teach more than one course. Right?
Right.
So it should have given me a drop down here. You know, like each professor can teach more than one course, and then each course can have more than one student. So one course, many students. So there's a one-to-many relationship between courses and the students that sign up for
It'll
it.
give you the one-to-many, but it won't give you the one-to-one, because you can't create another table at that point. You can't create another field.
No, you can't. It won't let you create a field here. But what it does is, so when you're trying to set this up, when you're trying to set it up so that you're selling things to people, this is just stuff that's being sold, right? We're selling courses here, and students are customers, aren't they? So when you're filling out your things of services that you're selling, you can just go and just pick them like that.
So if I set this up correctly, when I go in there, under my services tab, if I click on it, it should give me open up items. It should open up items, because that's going to be the zero to many tab. So it should open up the items tab, and I have a relationship with it, and it's over zero to many. The many side is on the items. So if I click on the services tab, it should open up, I should be able to add all the items.
Yeah, once you have the tables defined and you have the relationships established, it should open up that possibility.
I'm just a little bit, I don't know, I mean, when we're doing this here, you ask for certain things. So like,
Yeah, let's just focus on that, on what we're trying to get to, right?
you ask for certain things such as launch dates, things of that nature there.
Yeah.
So are we supposed to just, this stuff that you ask for is not going to fill all these tables in? So are we supposed to create fields for these tables?
Yeah, you figure out what fields go in there. For example, I mean, some of this is real easy. If I have employees, what fields am I going to have in an employees table?
First name, last name, ID, and
Address, city, state, zip, job title, department, whatever. That's just stuff that you just know, right?
I'm not worried. My main concern really is honestly the services, items,
All right.
supplies.
So
That's what I'm a little bit.
services, okay? You'd have it at a high level, repairs and maintenance. So you might have, boat repair. You might have boat cleaning. You might have boat maintenance. You might have refueling as a service, right?
And then we'll have our own ID, right? A specific thing to them, right?
And then in your supplies or let's see, we had items, right? So that those items could be related to more than one service.
Okay, so as an example, let's say I had service ID 01, right? Let's say I just did make it easy, don't do all the numbers, just did 01.
Mm-hmm.
And that was oil change.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say for supplies, I had 01, right? Supply oil, right? Under items, because I think this is the table that's really getting them. I think the items, I think that's what it is. I'm starting to see what you're saying on everything else. So the items, would that be like 01 and then it would say oil change?
Yeah, it would say oil change, and then it would be relate on wait, let me back that up. When you under sales, you're selling a service. You're selling an oil change. That oil change is linked to those items, oil and filter and gaskets and whatever else goes along with that.
So under sales, I'll have like the item ID, which would be like it'll be 01 oil change under sales.
Mm-hmm. And in that case, you link it directly to the service, and the service would be linked to the items.
So
That might be the better way to go. Is link your sales to the services, not.
sales have to be also be the supplies as well, right? Because we get oil here and oil change here. So I think that's what we want the items.
I'd have to go back and look at that lecture to see what.
Because under sales, the way we did it under sales, you had it like as if sales was like a ring, like a receipt. That's how you had it. And you said, well, under sales, it's going to be like, it would say like, I think 01 or 02. And then if you want to know what that was, you would click on it and then go to items. And items are going to show us what it was.
So
But
I would take at that video again, because I think we looked at it two different ways. And you make sure that if I can run a video inside a video.
So I guess my main concern is, I know I've got to create what I got to create, but these are going to be two separate things. One's going to be a service, one's going to be a sale. I know that they're each going to have their own individual